Africa Story, produced by Ogre Wisdom. Title: The King, the Snail and the Slow Promise. King Fumo stood on the highest point of Pride Rock. His mane, usually a glorious sunburst, felt heavy with the weight of worry. The great, sprawling savanna lay below, cracked and pale under the unrelenting sun. "I need a great storm. A mighty river to return," he roared, kicking a loose pebble into the abyss. "A problem this large requires a grand solution, not the little ideas my advisors keep bringing me." Far below, at the rock's crumbling base, a tiny creature finished her long journey. It was Kione, the North Snail, who had traveled from the frosty, silent lands to the burning south, bringing a secret carried in her shell. Fumo finally noticed the speck moving slowly up the rock face. "And who is this?" he scoffed. "A little scrap of the north, so far from home. What can a creature who moves like the shadow of a cloud possibly teach a king?" Kione paused her slow ascent. "Your Majesty," she said, her voice a quiet, clear chime. "The north has taught me that strength is not just in roaring, but in holding on. Your land is failing because it cannot keep the water, not because it has none. In the north, the lichens and mosses are ancient keepers," Kione continued. "They hoard every drop of dew, every mist, releasing it slowly into the soil. If we plant them here, in your driest patch, they will teach your land to remember how to drink." Fumo, with a sigh that stirred the dust, agreed to try her idea in the oldest, most barren corner of his kingdom. He watched as the tiny snail, and a few of his puzzled attendants, began their slow, careful work. Days stretched into weeks. The savanna remained thirsty, but Fumo flew to the barren corner. There, a small, vibrant patch of green glowed like an emerald. The moss had captured the morning mist, and the soil was cool to the touch. Fumo looked at Kione, who was resting quietly on a damp stone. "I sought a great, swift miracle," he confessed. "But you showed me the miracle is in the slow, persistent promise." He dipped his massive head low in a royal bow. From that day on, the entire pride helped spread the moss and lichen. The Lion King of the South had learned that the North Snail's gentle, holding strength was the greatest courage of all, and his parched lands began to heal. What have you learned today? Remember to subscribe and follow for more Africa Story. Produced by Ogre Wisdom. A production of Ethics TV.